Hi guys and girls, it's Pete, Mindwiseman's channel, aka Maverick Outdoors, and it's a sunny afternoon in the early part of July 2014. I've just come into the woods, just have a bit of chill time, bring the dog for a walk. You happy dog? You happy dog? I've had to keep her lead, her extension lead, tethered up to a piece of wood just over there. So she doesn't go walkabout and then gets a bit disorientated. You know, a little old biddy mentality. You're an old biddy dog. Are you an old biddy dog? Hey? Yeah, you've heard that before. That's why you're going to lie down. So as you've just seen, I've just been utilising this ghillie suit. It's a sort of a cut leaf design, which I got about 18 months ago. So it's a jacket with a drawstring hood, as you can see there, and then a button up front, which I've never really had to undo. I've just pulled it straight over the top of me. It's got elasticated cuffs, an elasticated waist, so if I hold it upside down, there's the arms hanging there, and the trousers, just simple elasticated waist and elasticated ankles. As I say, I acquired this nearly 18 months ago, the early part of 2013. I won't go into the history and the background behind ghillie suits, but basically they're just there for camouflage. Just that little bit more, literally a little bit more of being specific with stealthing yourself up. Normally for the likes of sort of bushcrafters, preppers, survivalists, that sort of thing is mainly maybe for hunting. But of course we can go a little bit more advanced type of ghillie suits that the military use, which are impregnated with anti-infrared. So in military use, obviously they don't want to be found out, although they might be camouflaged, they might be able to be sussed out where they are from their opposition via infrared searching and that sort of thing, and also heat sensing. So basically I don't want to get into the whys and wherefores of the, you know, A to Z, 100% of the history of ghillie suits, what they're used for, who uses them. I'm just showing you my one, which I acquired, as I say, the beginning of 2013. And as you can see, it's sort of a mesh type material. You can just about see my fingers just through there, but on the mesh it's actually printed foliage as well. And then of course the leaf cut, which isn't as thin, is actually sewn on the outside, so you know if you've got it inside out, because you can't see any leaf. So of course all the leaf is on the outside, and the same with the jacket as well. So obviously a ghillie suit is extra camo, more than maybe a cargo trousers, which could be DPM, MTP, olive green, drab colours, that sort of thing. So of course only light colours are more visible from a distance and can catch someone's eye. So if you're stealth camping, if you're hunting, and you just want to clad yourself up a little bit more, so literally you can't be seen. Yeah, literally, so you can't be seen. This is the way forward. As I say, I mean, I was considering getting something like this for a very long time. I even made one many years ago. I was a bit smaller then, so it wouldn't fit me. It might fit the dog. A bit more than a camo coat would. I've used this when I've been out on a pigeon shoot, when I've had permission on land, and culling some pigeons for some pigeon breast, which I put in the freezer, and I've sort of used this. But I know a lot of people will say, well, you know, animals are colourblind. But it doesn't mean to say that they can't actually tune in to shapes and certain shades of whatever colours and patterns that they can see. So of course, as you can see with the ground here, I know it's a slightly different colour, and the sun's coming through, so it's maybe highlighting it a little bit. But when you sort of like look at the leaves here and this ghillie suit, I mean, that's the best that I can be, stealthing myself up for whatever reason I need to. But my own personal point of view is that, okay, so if certain animals, you know, you go hunting, you camo up, what's the point? But when you know that breeds of animals will have certain colourings, male will have a certain colouring, the female will have a certain colouring, they'll have signs or markings, should I say, around their body which become signals to the opposite sex of that species of animal from the shade or the shape. So in my mind, my own personal theory is that, like a peacock, male spreads its back feathers and it's there to attract. Why is it multicoloured? Why is it really a specific, over the top, absolutely abstract come technical shaped pattern? Literally to its plumage. Why? It's to attract the attention. So that sort of got me thinking, and thinking, okay, if you're out hunting, and if it's a survival situation, and you're out hunting, let's say, not for sort of leisurely, just sort of hunting for the sake of it, but you need the food, then of course anything stealth, there's loads of technique, but I personally think that if you can blend into your environment, not just the shades and colours, let's face it, there's only bright colours in certain foliage of plants and flowers and that sort of thing, but I mean, you look around here, you tell me where you see a bright colour. A little bit of light blue sky up there. There could be blossom on certain trees. Alright, so there's a blue contrasting. But it's not just the colour, it's the shape, and it most probably would look unusual, just that hanging there. Okay, I'm splitting hairs a little bit here, but anything that doesn't look normal in the eye line and the eyesight of wildlife is going to put them on edge. They're going to instinctively, intuitively notice that. So I personally think if you can blend into the environment as best you can, then of course you're not going to attract their attention, or they're not going to sort of be able to assess that something looks or seems a little bit different because of either colouring or shades of the colours that apparently they can't see, but different intonations of their natural environment is a little bit different to what they are usually aware of, and they're going to notice that. And also people are as well. I've been in these woods, and from about 100-150 metres I've noticed someone because they've got a white t-shirt on, and I haven't been looking for them, I've just seen this little thing out the corner of my eye and just got my attention, and it's been a person with a white t-shirt. So it's a bit like us. So for the likes of us outdoorsies, people that are outdoors, when you get used to that sort of environment, things that don't normally fit in, you're going to notice. Now I'm quite sure there'll be a few critics watching this that will be saying that you've got to know exactly your environment with the shrubbery that grows and that sort of thing, and absolutely sort of blend in with it, which is fine if you've got time to get bits of foliage, stick it onto your camo suit or whatever garb you're wearing. So if you've got bits of elastic, webbing, loop attachments that you can actually fix on local shrubbery and foliage of where you actually are being stealth, then that's all good stuff. My multi-pocket smock, the tan one that I acquired, that's got loads of little loops on it all over, because it's actually also used as a sniper's smock as well. I mean, that's the design that it's based on. So if I wanted to, I can loop loads of foliage of surrounding area if I was actually using that jacket for stealth for any reason. So, but of course, back to this ghillie suit. And for £17, 20 pence, which is about 23 US dollars, 45 Australian dollars, something like that. But English currency, for just over £17, free postage. It was in an auction off eBay. I was looking for something similar when I first saw these a couple of years ago. I like the idea of how lightweight they are, so you can put them in your kit bag and it just compacts down. Really practical. So for £17, just over, as far as I'm concerned, that is a result. I did get it from the Far East, as I say, it was on eBay. I sort of had a bit of time hunting around. I must have spent about 2 weeks now and then going on to the internet, sort of just checking out, seeing what was there. Some were actually a buy now price of anything from £40 to £50 coming from the Far East, and even a European dealer. But there are some outward bound bushcraft, all that sort of type of kit suppliers in the UK that sell virtually exactly the same as this. I've seen the more expensive version, and it is no different from this material whatsoever, the pattern, the structure, and the only difference is the jacket's got a pocket, the trouser's got 2 pockets and side access to get into the trousers. Like if I need to get into my shorts here, there's also an access slit at the side besides the 2 pockets that come with the trousers. But for £75 to £100 for that suit from the UK plus postage and packing, fair enough if you want to pay that for a couple of pockets, which won't bother me. For me, that's £17 well spent for something that I've been after, or had been after, for quite a while. And I've been in touch with a few people that actually found out about this, are very experienced with making ghillie suits and that sort of thing. And there's one guy that was telling me that in his military experience, they used to improvise their own ghillie suits, ones that were issued to them, but apparently they would add other particular colours, especially dark blue, because black tends to really stand out in the dark. I mean, it's dark anyway, but black itself tends to be a tone of colour that if you see it move, it looks like a shadow, and especially if it's a human shape. Obviously black is better than bright colours, but some of the information that was given to me over the past 12 months from a few people have shown me some examples of the ghillie suits they've made. They're absolutely incredible. And they've got different attachments where you can sort of loop them on, but you have to practice where they are because you've got to change it in the dark. So if you're in a sort of a foliage, which is, say, maybe open terrain, savanna type terrain, where there's hardly any trees around or bushes, and it's mainly grassy knolls and sort of more shrubbery, which is very low level, then of course you're going to adjust the type of ghillie suit pattern and design to the actual area that you're in. But of course, military exercise and that sort of thing using ghillie suits is a totally different perspective, and I fully appreciate that. So I know that a lot of people out there will be thinking, well, you know, it's not the be all and end all, and £17 I'm not going to argue about it. I'm just going to say, hey, I've got this ghillie suit which will do me fine for the things that I would need to use this for, which is mainly hunting, and push come to shove, anything stealth. You know, if you had to be on the move, or there was a sort of quite a high priority emergency bug out, but you had to be stealth about it, then I would use something like this. But as you could see from some of the first footage of this video, you know, it works pretty well. I'm really happy with it. Mind you, I better remember where I put it, because it must be without camouflage, I won't find it. I'll remember this branch. I won't forget that. That's where it is. Visual location. Oh, I didn't realise that was there. But if you were interested in one, just get on the internet and, you know, if you've got a bit of time, look for the best deals. But as I say, in the UK, the one with the extra pockets, or with actually additional pockets on it, considering that hasn't got it, you're paying 3 times the amount for it. So, you know, worth considering, especially if you go hunting, or you just want to be a bit more stealth. Or, as I've done about half a dozen times, put it on when I've been out and about, maybe sociable, sort of outdoors, and hidden, and jumped out, and yeah, really good fun. But now I'm going to go out in my rucksack. Oh yeah, I've got a another tripod stall. Again, I bought this, as you can see, from a famous outdoor company. I don't normally buy a lot of my stuff from you know, commercial high street outdoor suppliers, but now and then it's worth going in, you know, and seeing if they got any special deals. And as I say, this stall, I bought it for when my son comes out with me, and the one that I've got I normally use is green, but this was reduced from £12, which is about $18 US, and I got it for £4. Result. So it's always worth having a search around, even in the more commercial places, because sometimes you will find a bargain. You alright, dog? You patient? You had a nice sniff around, hey? Exciting here, lots of different aromas. Yeah. I'm just going to go and use my 35 litre rucksack, and I'm going to make myself a brew now. With the old hexamen. For the time I'm in the woods, I could have easily made up a flask of tea at home, and it would have still been warm now to drink straight out of the flask. So I just fancied bringing the old hexi stove and just being a bit more tactile, you know, boiling up the water outdoors, enjoying the outdoors. So I've got a good few hours left of daylight and the sun's come out even more. And it's really cascading some lovely shades of light. So I'm going to sort of face the sun and the direction of the sun so I can see the majority of the brightness and really enjoy making up this brew. What are you moaning about? Oi, you dog. Oi. But so just scuffed the ground a little bit just to get rid of some dry leaves so that when the hexi stove goes on there it doesn't sort of heat up any leaves that could actually scorch or ignite. Yeah. Stop interrupting, dog. Oi, stop interrupting. The hexi stoves that come with the little fitment that goes around the side, you'll notice is got an insert for the BCB mug that normally will fit in there. This is the Dutch Army mug. The BCB is about 750 millilitres, 3/4 of a litre. This is only 500 ml and it's got a smaller base and it gets stuck in there so that when you want to lift it up it pulls up this framework, so that's why I'm putting it sideways across that way. Trying to keep the handles away from the flame, of course. So if it's not too breezy, obviously I haven't got a windshield because I was only just going to do this and it hasn't been that breezy today and I knew this area wasn't going to be sort of a wind trap or anything, but obviously it's keeping an eye on the flame. So if you don't want something to get hot, i.e. the handles, you can always just make sure it's getting the majority of the flame so it's going to boil or cook whatever it is that you're heating or using the hexi stove for, so it's actually being utilised efficiently. Plus as well, what I would have normally done was prepared the container, put the water in it, put the lid on it, then actually ignited the hexi block so that you're using the flame straight away. But you'll notice when I did it, I just wanted to demo lighting the hexi block, and then of course I filled up the cup afterwards, but normally I do it the other way around. Prepare everything you want to heat, cook, boil, and then light the block. I'm going to light the other half of this block. I used this in my garden yesterday because I just fancied making a brew outdoors, so I took the old hexi stove outside and literally did exactly what I'm doing now. Out in the garden, just sitting outdoors, making a brew, chilling time, being in the moment. It's the first time for ages that I've used one of the square blocks, whereas normally I might use the small round one. But I've personally found if you light a whole block, it might be just too much flame to burn off. So if you break it in half, normally half a block will only burn for just a little bit less than a whole block. So of course you're using a whole block for the same time, if that makes sense, to using a half. So what I did yesterday, I tried it, just did an experiment with it, and found that breaking one in half, it gets the water really nice and warm, and then the other half will eventually boil it. But if I'd actually ignited the whole block at once, there'd be no flame by now. But obviously you can see there's still the flame. So really, breaking it in half can make the block last twice as long for what you want to heat, especially something small like that. It's on its way. See little bubbles down the bottom. And I've found anything that needs to boil up, having a lid on it can cut the boiling time down by a third. So say like that was going to take 10 minutes without a lid, it's going to take 6 to 7 with a lid on it, because obviously the pressure of the heat stays inside. Stating the obvious really, but it's a surprising amount of people I see actually trying to boil water without a lid. Ah, look at that. Bubble, bubble. Problem with powdered milk, when you add it to hot water, a small percentage of it tends to sort of solidify in small little lumps, so you've got to keep stirring it. But for the convenience, so bon appetit. Oh yeah. Everything in the woods this afternoon has been pranayama. Muesli bar. Almonds and nuts, one of my favourites. I might have to do a bit of dunking in there for an extra bit of yumminess. Really nice and nutty. A bit like me. Alright, dog. Come. Yeah. You alright, dog? Yeah. You okay, dog? Alright dog, we're going to go soon, yeah? Yeah, we're going to go soon. Oh well, this is going to be the quickest bit of LNT, leave no trace, I'll have ever done. .75 seconds. I'm kidding, I didn't time it, I'm just guessing. Right, let's pack it all away, yeah. But before I do, I'll just show you a bit more of a close-up of the panel where the buttons are. You can see one where my thumb is there, they're just popper buttons. But as I say, this is quite sort of loose enough for me just to pull over the top of any clothing that I have worn in the past. But the opening of the hood, as I said, is drawstring. You can camo paint your face up to get rid of the highlights of the light shade of skin, or else you can get just what I'm going to do. I'm going to get a flap of mozzie net type material, like a mozzie net that you can just pull over your head, or just a bit of material from my local material shop. Olive green, drab green, just see-through, similar to the sort of base material that this is, that you can see my finger through the material, which then the leaf effect is sewn onto. So for me personally, I won't have to tighten it up with the drawstring cord. I can still keep it open. I can have a visual effect much more broader, so I've got much more of a broader spectrum of view by having the drawstrings less tight, so it's a bit more open. Similar to being over me, obviously I've just got the hood, I'm not wearing the whole thing, I've got it draped over my back. But if this was actually around here, I'd just pull the drawstring cords to about this point and then just have a piece of olive green or drab colour that matches this, just covering my face to get rid of the highlights. So it all blends in. So here it is, all rolled up into one piece. That's how small it is. Compact it up really nice and lightweight. And I reckon that doesn't even weigh 300 grams. So near enough everything's stashed away in my 35 litre little rucksack, 2 side pockets. In that is my first aid kit and my wallet, securely zipped up. I always check the seams before I leave, before I actually use it, just to make sure that there's no fatigue in the material, so nothing can be lost. Then on the other side here, there's a camera and a little bracket tripod I leave in here. And then in the lid pouch, cigarette lighter, a small lightweight wicking t-shirt, some dog treats in there, and then my keys, bit of EDC, fire steel, small mini torch, that will go in there as well, and then my Monarch torch and my Leatherman sidekick. That's besides what you would have seen earlier when I was just packing away the bag. I just had my poncho, my fold-up saw, and also my Mora 510 just for backup, just in case I change my mind. I thought I'll do a bit of whittling or a bit of wood carving or something. Always good to have your basic bits of kit. Got the space, wasn't going to be an effort, wasn't going to be a mission, so might as well bring them. Okay, so that was out for a sunny afternoon in the woods, giving you a little bit of a spec on the ghillie suit. So I hope that's been a bit informative, giving you some ideas, maybe thinking about, you know, how you can go a bit more stealth in the great outdoors. So anyway, thanks for watching, really appreciate your interest, and I'll catch you in another video soon. Cheers, take care.